If you've ever worked at a company with more than a handful of software systems, you've probably run into this problem. Your CRM doesn't talk to your inventory system, your website doesn't talk to your finance software, and every new connection means another custom, one-off integration. This is exactly the problem MuleSoft was built to solve. In this deep dive, we'll cover what MuleSoft actually is, how its Anypoint Platform works, the architecture behind it called API-led connectivity, and how it's being used today, including in the age of AI agents. Let's get into it. Most companies don't build their technology stack from scratch. They accumulate it, a CRM here, an ERP there, a homegrown database, a handful of SaaS tools, maybe some legacy systems nobody wants to touch. Over time, teams connect these systems directly to each other, point to point. Every new connection is custom code, and as the number of systems grows, the number of these one-off connections grows even faster. This tangle is sometimes called spaghetti architecture. It's slow to build, expensive to maintain, and stressful to change, because nobody's quite sure what will break. MuleSoft exists to replace that spaghetti with something reusable and manageable. MuleSoft is an integration and API platform. In plain terms, it's software that helps organizations connect applications, data, and devices to each other, regardless of where they live, on-premises or in the cloud. MuleSoft was founded in 2006, built around an open-source integration engine called Mule. In 2018, it was acquired by Salesforce for about $6.5 billion, and today it's a core part of how Salesforce connects its products to the rest of a customer's technology stack. But MuleSoft itself is platform agnostic. It's used to integrate all kinds of systems, not just Salesforce ones. The product you actually use is called Anypoint Platform. Think of it as MuleSoft's complete toolbox for the entire life of an integration or an API, designing it, building it, testing it, deploying it, and then monitoring it once it's live. Anypoint Platform is often described as the first unified platform to cover the whole API lifecycle in one place, rather than stitching together separate design tools, gateways, and monitoring dashboards. That's a big part of its appeal for large organizations. One platform, one place to govern everything. The core idea behind how MuleSoft organizes integrations is called API-led connectivity. Instead of wiring System A directly to System B, and System B directly to System C, you build small, reusable APIs in 3 layers. The bottom layer, System APIs, connect directly to your core systems of record, like your CRM or your database, and expose their data in a consistent way. The middle layer, Process APIs, take that data and apply business logic, combining, orchestrating, and shaping it. The top layer, Experience APIs, format that data specifically for whoever's consuming it, like a mobile app, a website, or a partner. Each layer can be reused, so you build a connection once and use it many times. Picture it as a stack. At the bottom, System APIs plug into SAP, Salesforce, databases, and other systems of record. In the middle, Process APIs combine and orchestrate that data, for example, merging customer records from 2 different systems. At the top, Experience APIs shape the final result for a specific channel, like a mobile app or a customer portal. Because each layer is decoupled, a change in one system, say a database migration, only requires updating the System API underneath it. Everything built on top keeps working. That reusability is the entire point. Inside Anypoint Platform, a few tools do most of the work. Anypoint Design Center and API Designer are where you define what an API looks like. Anypoint Studio is the developer environment, built on Eclipse, where engineers build integration logic, often using MuleSoft's own data transformation language called Data Weave. Anypoint Exchange is a searchable catalog of reusable APIs, connectors, and templates, so teams don't rebuild what already exists. And once something is deployed, Runtime Manager and API Manager take over, handling deployment, monitoring, traffic policies, and security across cloud and on-premises environments alike. Underneath all of this sits the Mule Runtime Engine, the software that actually executes your integration logic, whether it's deployed on MuleSoft's cloud, your own cloud account, or on-premises. To avoid writing custom code for every system you connect to, MuleSoft ships with a large library of pre-built connectors for things like Salesforce, SAP, Workday, databases, and file systems. Instead of writing an integration from scratch, you often just configure a connector, which dramatically cuts development time. Let's make this concrete. Say a retail company wants a customer's order placed on their website to automatically update inventory in SAP, create a record in Salesforce, and trigger a shipping notification. Without MuleSoft, that might mean 3 or 4 different point-to-point integrations, each maintained separately. With API-led connectivity, you'd build a system API for SAP and a separate one for Salesforce, a process API that orchestrates the order logic, checking inventory, then updating the CRM, and an experience API that the website calls. Now, if the company later launches a mobile app, that new app reuses the same process and system APIs. It just needs its own experience API. That's the reusability payoff. MuleSoft has recently expanded into a new role, connecting AI agents to enterprise systems. In 2025, MuleSoft added support for the Model Context Protocol or MCP, an open standard that lets AI agents discover and call tools without custom integration code for each one. In practice, this means an existing Mule integration, one you may have already built, can be exposed as an MCP server. Salesforce's AI agent platform, Agentforce, can then discover that server and use it to look up inventory, check order status, or pull customer data, all with the same governance and security controls MuleSoft already provides. It's the same API-led philosophy, build once and reuse everywhere, just extended to AI agents as a new type of consumer. Pulling this together, companies adopt MuleSoft for a few consistent reasons. Speed. Reusable APIs mean new projects don't start from zero. Governance. One platform to secure, monitor, and enforce policy across every integration. Flexibility. It works across cloud, on-premises, and hybrid environments, and it isn't limited to Salesforce products. And increasingly, future readiness. The same integration layer that connects your applications today can expose your systems to AI agents tomorrow, without re-architecting everything. So, to recap, MuleSoft is an integration and API platform, owned by Salesforce, built around the Anypoint Platform. Its core architecture, API-led connectivity, organizes integrations into reusable system, process, and experience API layers instead of tangled point-to-point connections. Tools like Anypoint Studio, Exchange, and Runtime Manager support the full lifecycle, and the underlying Mule engine, plus hundreds of connectors, does the heavy lifting. And today, that same foundation is extending into AI, letting agents securely reach enterprise data through MCP. That's MuleSoft, from the problem it solves to where it's headed next.